Hi there, welcome to the Fierce Factor podcast. I'm your host, Kaylee Lindholm. And I think it's time for us women to shift the conversation in business and step into our feminine leadership to do the most iconic work the aesthetic industry has ever seen. Each week, I'll be bringing a powerful dose of strategy, sarcasm, solutions, and sass that will rev up your creativity and ignite your brilliance as you link arms with me along our shared path of personal and professional growth in 20 minutes or less. Let's go. Hello, leader. Welcome back to the Fierce Factor podcast. It's your host, Kaylee here, and you are tuning in to episode number 254. This week, we are going to talk about the ninja strategy to building a unicorn team, a team of collaborative entrepreneurs who have both the attitude and the aptitude to elevate, operate, and multiply your self-led company. It's all about accessing and cultivating human potential. I'll start this episode by sharing some of the most common mistakes I see when building a team. Number one, hiring out of desperation. Most business owners wait way too long to hire, completely underestimating how long it's going to take them to create job clarity, find, interview, hire, onboard, and train a new employee. Instead of creating a strategic plan, they rapid hire to fill a role and end up hiring someone who will just do. The reality is it takes 6 to 9 months to find someone aligned with the company, core values, culture, and mission that has the skills aligned with the current business and also the potential for growth alongside your growing company. Think about it. If your expectations are to find a 10 out of 10 employee, you're going to have to weed through 99 misfits before you find the perfect top 1% out of 100. This takes time and patience. And listen, I've never heard anyone who hired that dream employee say, "Oh gosh, I wish I would have waited longer." They only say, "I wish I would have done this sooner." I remember when I was young in my marriage and people used to say, "Are you going to have babies?" And of course I was like, "Yeah, later." But you never really are ready. So you have to start trying when you are like 70% ready. This is the same for your next hires. They'll grow your company for you. So if your plan is to grow, bring in the most valuable asset to grow your company, an A player. The next mistake that owners make is hiring employees versus intrapreneurs. So there's a distinct difference here between someone who wants to show up for a job and someone who is intrinsically driven to be a part of growing something. Think about yourself. I bet you have always been that type. You don't need a piece of paper to tell you what your job is. You're just going to figure it out. Whatever needs to be done, you will find a way to get the result. So finding someone like this isn't about a position or a trait of skills. This is a character trait, and one that should be at the forefront of qualifications for any role in your company. For me, if someone isn't ready to roll up their sleeves and bust through a wall for the job, they don't belong in my company because things will get tough and unglamorous and require grit and passion and mental toughness. And that will require people who see themselves as owners of their own destiny, intrapreneurs. So employees, they clock in, they clock out, they check boxes, they do what needs to be done. But intrapreneurs, they proactively seek ways to self-start and generate impact in their role. You can't teach that. You hire for that. It comes with a package. It's not a learned skill that you train someone up to. Employees will zap your energy and time, whereas intrapreneurs will carry your load and stimulate traction for your business. And mistake number 3 is hiring for skills versus growth potential. If there is one critical game-changing lesson I've learned along my 9-year journey of building my company, it's this. In the beginning, we're way too cheap to hire an entrepreneurial self-starter, so we mitigate risk and hire our best friend's mom or sister-in-law or whoever is just good enough on Indeed, and that never works out. Then we feel so overwhelmed and burdened by the amount of training it takes to get someone up and running at full capacity. So we boomerang back the other way and hire someone way overqualified for the role, neglecting to admit to ourselves that that employee still needs all of the same general onboarding and learning the lay of the land as any other employee. But we've stretched ourselves so thin to afford them, and we probably acted like a high school teenager trying to land the homecoming queen that our expectations of their immediate impact are misaligned. we start to put pressure on them and ourselves, holding them to some unrealistic abstract goal or timeline to make an impact and end up causing more stress for ourselves than it's worth. The failures that happen by going this route are usually due to resentment by the employer or frustration by the employee that they're being asked to learn new things. They're maybe not that moldable, right? Or they're being held to new standards that they didn't expect coming in. Here's what to do instead. Hire for potential. Hire someone who has all of the raw tools to grow with the company, yet is super excited to meet you where you are right now. Build them a growth runway. Look for strength in the things you can't teach. Hunger, resourcefulness, passion, vision, loyalty, coachability. Someone with these characteristics will be eager to learn and grow alongside you. You can show them what skills need to be developed in order to advance in opportunities with your organization. And you can invest back into them as human beings, which stimulates trust and guess what? Loyalty. So remember that intrapreneurs are innately seeking upward mobility and to be surrounded by a team of like-minded individuals. This is where knowing what you stand for and what you're building becomes critical. And this is why growing into the kind of leader who can confidently and clearly communicate a vision will honestly make or break your success in magnetizing and retaining top talent. So how do you recognize growth potential in existing and future team members? Well, here are 6 ways. Number 1, get clear on your 5 to 10 year vision. If you know where you're going, you can predict who you will need to help you get there. Number 2, develop an organizational chart. I'm serious. I know it sounds silly, but put it on paper, not just in your head. That way you can visualize where you have strengths and also gaps in support for your business. An overwhelmed founder will mishire or overstaff on the same type of employee trying to fill gaps versus drive impact through the people that they already have on the team. Having a team map really helps with this. Number 3, plan ahead. Give yourself 6 to 9 months to attract, hire, onboard an employee who is the right fit for the company, focusing on the subjective qualities that will make that team member a unicorn fit for your company. Number 4, look for early or raw skills that could translate into greater ones down the road. For example, you might hire an MA who could develop into a laser tech or RN at some point. Or you might bring in a guest service manager who can be mentored by your practice manager to eventually move her into a leadership role in operations or customer service. So in that case, I would be watching her. I would be giving her special projects. I would be evaluating how she works in collaboration with other people. Is she somebody that my other team members want to follow? Does she have a natural tendency to magnetize people? I'd be looking at these things early on to ask myself, is this somebody who has the potential to be a leader? I even would find out, are they somebody who, when I give a project to, they can manage that to the result, or do they need a tactical check the box list in order to get the job done? Number 5 is grow yourself. The best way to grow your team and to demonstrate a culture of growth mindset and initiative is to be an example for them. Create clear job descriptions that communicate what is expected of that employee and how that will be measured. This actually isn't hard. It just takes you stepping into a leadership role and taking charge of these aspects of your business. And then finally, number 6, become a better daily leader. This begins by understanding how your own personality, beliefs, and experiences impact the relationship you have with hiring and managing top talent. If you have a fear that if you train someone up enough, they might leave, then you have some work to do. If you believe everyone should think, act, and operate innately like you do, you will always be let down and repeatedly find yourself back in the hiring hamster wheel we talked about earlier. If you're challenged by confrontation and are letting toxic energy or drama bleed into your culture, your top people will leave. I'm here to tell you that growing a business through team is hard, but it can get easier when you prioritize investment in yourself and into your leadership. At the end of the day, the point is to become the kind of woman who is capable of leading a business that you are waking up to build each and every day. And I'm here to help you with that. In fact, for a limited time, I am literally giving away free copies of my brand new 20-page playbook called the High-Performing Leader. Inside of it, you'll find my high-performing leader archetype assessment to uncover your own leadership style. From there, you'll walk through your own specific strengths, weaknesses, blind spots, and finally get what I call a Spark pathway, a step-by-step blueprint for building and scaling a thriving life-first business based on the following principles. S, strategy, where you define your vision and roadmap for growth. P, people, build and inspire a high-performing team. Alignment is where you're going to ensure that every aspect of your business is working in harmony. And listen, if you've been in business for 5 years or more, it's likely time to polish up some infrastructure. R is results, where you're going to track, measure outcomes to scale your success. And then K, knowledge, equip yourself with the tools and insights to lead confidently. And remember, we are tracking more than just income. Let's help you build a business that pours generously into your wealth, health, impact, and freedom. That's what a life first business is all about. So you can access this playbook at klcconsultants.com/leadership playbook. And I will also, of course, link up in the show notes of this episode. As always, I am on a mission to help you unlock your next $1 million milestone by thinking bigger, leading more boldly, and redefining success on your own terms. Okay, goddess. Thanks so much for joining me today. I look forward to chatting with you. Same place, same time next week. Listen, leader, if you're vibing with me here, hang tight because I have a brand new resource for you. You are a successful, confident, powerful woman who just isn't into being average. No, you have a calling, and part of that calling is requiring you to level up. And I know that if you're working across the next $1 million milestone in your business, you need to be in the right circles. And perhaps that's why you found us. I'd love to invite you to join The Blueprint, a weekly resource for inspired, provocative thinkers who are taking this conversation to the next level. Get access to free business tools, podcast supplements, guideposts, and direct communication with me and my expert team. And of course, a masterfully curated circle of women making big moves and disrupting the status quo in aesthetics and wellness. You can link directly through the show notes or head to klcconsultants.com/blueprint. It's time to elevate. See you there, goddess.